Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Campbell. I'm currently employed by Monsanto Australia, based in Bundaberg, Central Queensland. The objective of my role is to evaluate vegetable hybrids for superior agronomic and sensory traits that result in a benefit to growers, the downstream supply chain, and in the end consumers. If we just look at some of these articles here, as a society, do we want to continue to read these types of headlines and live through the subsequent impacts? Can we reinvigorate the food manufacturing industry in the processing of product to assist in food aid? To develop a further understanding of the potential success of our idea, my role in this project was to complete a stakeholder analysis of the front end of the vegetable supply chain, the processors and vegetable growers. This graph, taken out of a Senate report commissioned by Senator Joe Ludwig while he was the Agricultural Minister in 2013, shows a long-run decline in the share of Australian manufacturing, including food manufacturing, as a proportion of Australia's GDP. The relative size of the manufacturing sector decreased from about 22% in 1970 to 10% in 2009. In another report, commissioned by economist Ross Dosser, local produce manufacturing has reduced over the last 20 years due to cheaper imported product, high input costs such as electricity, gas, water and transport, high labour costs in general in Australia compared to some of our importing partners and competitors, economies of scale. Australian food processors cannot compete with the conglomerates that are based in Europe and in America. Regulatory costs. Some of the large food processors in Australia are based in multiple states and have issues with different regulatory costs between states, which creates a burden in red tape, and also different regulatory costs that are actually larger than the importing countries we deal with. So as part of our research, I commenced a stakeholder analysis with 3 of the larger food processing companies in Australia. And I'd like to thank David List from SPC, Peter Hardman from Simplot, and Colin Dorper, who's getting together a group of investors to start up a processing plant in the Lockyer Valley in Queensland. So if I could just draw your attention to the map, brand from here in the Lockyer Valley, Colin Dorper's group. The Simplot factory is based at Bathurst, Echuca, Devonport, and the SPC factory based in Goulburn. In general, the food processors that I interview are overwhelmingly supportive of this idea. However, to remain profitable in Australia, these businesses need to run at close to 100% capacity, close to 100% utilisation of all product that goes through the factory. They have a limited waste, and even waste that is used generates income by feeding normally stock feed. They have very precise customer requirements, coming from a seed and breeding background. We have dedicated processing variety programs, and a lot of the fresh market produce that is in surplus and oversupply conditions is unsuitable for processing, and they require a very close grower base. Usually no more than 200 kilometres from the factory, otherwise it remains unprofitable. However, if further expansion of these sites was to occur to support this idea, that it requires significant government funds for expansion. And they also need consistent large volumes of supply to maintain their efficiency and profitability. The following groups were surveyed also as part of this stakeholder analysis to gauge their opinion on utilising produce in times of oversupply for food aid. We surveyed the Bowen-Gumley District Growers Association in North Queensland, the Lockyer Valley Growers Association, the Bundaberg Fruit and Vegetable Growers Association, and the Cold River Produce Association. Essentially, we cannot continue to do this. This sheer amount of waste is is just unacceptable to these growers. They need further downstream value to their product to remain profitable in Australia today. And to quote Carl Walker, the president of the Bowen District Gumloo District Growers Association, we need government support to help get this sort of thing off the ground. I'd now like to introduce Lachlan to further talk about the government's opinion on this matter.